Hey guys, welcome to Cricket Fanatics Magazine. I'm your host Khalid Mohidin, and today is another episode of the Daily Show. I thought that it would be interesting for us to speak about something specific that is a little bit more detailed than before and a little bit more in depth than we've done in previous episodes. So, as the title says, we're going to be searching for the next South African number three. So, we've seen the culture camp that was released, and we've seen the squad, the 33-man squad that was released, and we can kind of make some assumptions of who is going to be the next best players for South Africa. We could maybe make those assumptions now with that squad that was created. The fact that the press release mentioned that Faf du Plessis and Tienes de Bruin are out of the squad, but were originally in the squad, but are out of the squad because of family reasons, shows that the thinking behind who South Africa is looking at for their future sides. Now, I'm going to talk about specifically just the test side and the test 11 and maybe the test squad. So I'm going to assume that because Zubair Hamza, Keegan Peterson are in that squad, and Tienes de Bruin has been mentioned as well, that those are the guys that they're going to be looking at for teams going down the line with regards to the longer format. But who are the best number threes in the country? Let's talk about that, and let's talk about all of them in depth. So we can start at the top of the show with someone like Zubair Hamza, someone that we've interviewed on the channel before as well. You can check it out in our On Lockdown series, season 1. It's in our playlist. He's 25. He has an average of 50 for the Cobras and has scored some decent runs, also including double century for the Cobras. So been a fantastic player over the years. Really had to fight his way through to get his opportunity at the highest level and to get his opportunity for the Cobras. You know that he battled at club cricket. He didn't have the best of careers, obviously, at school level, but he battled hard to make make a name for himself in the Western Province arena, scoring some double centuries there, scoring a lot of runs there, and then obviously making his debut for the Cobras and being one of the top young players in that side. Maybe one of the main players talked about for the new season to be captain of the Cobras. He's been talked about. He captained a few One Day Cup games last season. With Dane Pitt leaving, he could be the next captain in line. But if you look at his performances for South Africa kind of pushed him into that number 3 position as a replacement for Amla. And because Amla has left and retired, we are looking for a replacement. We are looking for someone that can bat at number 3, that can lead the line once one of the openers have fallen. So we need someone that has the ability to be able to calm down, have a calm head, and bat through an innings, carry a team, score big runs when we need them to. I think Zubair Hamza has the ability to be able to do that. He has the mentality to be able to do that. But as we spoke last night to Hussein Ayub, he was talking about his love for Hashim Amla, and he was talking about his admiration for someone like Zubair Hamza as a replacement. And we were talking about maybe having Zubair, maybe dropping him in the order was one of the conversations that we had, maybe to protect him, similarly to what England has done with someone like Pope. But that's a discussion for another time. I just think that he's one of the best number 3s in the country, and I think that he's one of the people that should be next in line with regards to that position. Let's move on to another young talent, and a talent that came onto the scene 2 seasons ago, but as an opener, and now he's kind of solidified his spot in the Knights. He played 1 or 2 games for the Knights in his first season, but this past season he had a full go at it, scoring over 800 runs this season. It was phenomenal for the Knights, even though the Knights didn't do as well as they would have liked. But Reiner van Tonder is one of the best young talents that this country has, and he's only at the age of 21, so he has a long way to go still. And I think that he needs to do this for a couple of more seasons and show what he's capable of, and if he's capable of repeating what he normally can do. Now, I know he's been opening the batting for the Knights, but I've spoken to Reynard in one of our episodes as well of the Unlockdown series, and he gave us an indication that number 3 is the position that he would love to bat. He's batted like that for his school. He's batted like that for his age groups, for S-19. He was S-19 captain. Incredible mental strength, incredible passion, incredible cricketing brain. So he is really one for the future, maybe even a future captain. But it's definitely someone that I think that we should look at in the future. Maybe he can find an opportunity to be part of the squads down the line and maybe some of the training camps. I would have actually liked him to see him part of maybe this culture camp as maybe an extra player just for net practice, etc. And I think we need to give these youngsters more opportunities to be able to interact with the Proteas players and get to know them and get to know their training regimes and their structures and the way they go about things a lot sooner. Another young player that is talked about, highly talked about, is Marcus Ackerman. Now, Marcus has played 12 games for the Dolphins, and he averages about 48, and he's batting at number 3 currently for the Dolphins. Now, he's been an incredible. He's a different type of batsman. He's someone that has a little bit of flair, someone that likes to look for the gaps and plays quite unorthodox shots. He's quite an attacking player. I mean, we spoke to him also in our lockdown series in the playlist. You can go check it out in our playlist. And he spoke about how he wants to convert those. For example, here you can see on the screen, he has 950s to his name and only 200s. He was talking about how we can convert those numbers and get more hundreds in his career and finish off, because he thinks that is his particular issue with his batting at the moment in the longer formats. We've seen that he's been trusted in the shorter formats, obviously getting a Cape Town Blitz contract, and we've seen what his ability to be able to play the ball right around the ground. So he's quite an explosive type of batsman, and he's quite exciting to watch. So he is an interesting future prospect for South African cricket. I think that he could bat number 4 or number 3. It's somewhere there that he can operate in, and maybe he is the future number 4 for South Africa. We'd have to wait and see what he can do in the future, and if he can have the same season that he had last season for the Dolphins. So one of the players that have been talked about a lot is Keegan Peterson. He's also in the 33-man culture camp squad, and he's had a couple of games for the SAA side, as well as being in the squad for the South African Test side. So particularly Keegan Peterson's claim to fame was 2 seasons ago when he scored 900 runs for the Knights. And since he's moved from the Cobras, he's been phenomenal. Now, the averages that you see on the screen and the amount of runs you see on the screen, I've combined the two, his records for the two franchises. I've combined his innings with regards to the Cobras and with regards to the Knights, and I've added them together to work out his average with regards to how he played over those two franchises. And that's how I landed up on the averages that I have on the screen. Now, his average for the Knights is obviously significantly better than his average for the Cobras. And because of his performances for the Cobras and his average for the Cobras, you'll see that the average on this screen is a little lower than what it is at the Knights. I mean, his Knights average is quite high. It's close to 50. So you can tell how he's done since the move. So as we know, Keegan Peterson has now moved from the Knights to the Dolphins. So it's another switch in his career. And I think it's a place where he can really solidify a spot in the number 3 position. Another batsman that has been in the system for quite some time and has been on the tip of everybody's tongue is Tienis de Bruin. Now, Tienis obviously had an incredible career at the Knights, averaging at over 60 before he moved over to the Titans. Now, as you can see, similarly to Keegan Peterson, because he's played at 2 franchises, I worked out his average based on his performances in the 2 different franchises. Now, why his average is so low over here is because he's only had 3 not outs in his entire career at franchise level. So it obviously significantly dropped his average with regards to his average over here. So you can see by the numbers that he scored over 900s and 1650s. Incredible record in the amount of matches that he's played. 41 matches, and of course, scoring at an average of 49.87, almost 50. So he's had a phenomenal record at the domestic level. The problem has been his step up to the international side. So when he's had the opportunities, he hasn't always performed. Despite obviously scoring that massive century against Sri Lanka, I think it was, he hasn't really performed at the same level as he has at domestic level. But he is still one of the main batsmen in South African cricket. And as the 33-man squad, although he's missing the camp because of family reasons, he would have been in that squad. So that means that someone like Boucher really rates Tienis de Bruin, and obviously would know him very well. With his Titans link, as well as obviously playing against him when he was at the Knights. So Tierney is also one of the main guys in South African cricket, and we're hoping that he could also be able to play at the same level as he plays at domestic level. So those are the 5 guys that I think are the next generation number 3, or the guys that are in line for that number 3 position. We do currently have someone like Rassie van der Dussen who's operating at number 3, number 4. It depends also on whether they're going to move Themba Bavuma up the order and can play number 3 as well. That's also another option. And also we have Faf du Plessis that has still not retired from Test cricket. So he could also be that number 3, number 4, or even bat number 5. We'll have to see what they do. I would like to hear what you have to say and who you think should bat at number 3 for South Africa. Or maybe I've left a player out that you maybe really rate at number 3 and think that he should be in line for that Proteas position. Let me know in the comment section below. Don't forget to, of course, subscribe, like, and share this video with all your friends and all your family so that we can grow our numbers on this channel. Don't forget to download the latest issue of the magazine. We have 2 issues available for you before we bring out our 3rd issue. So please go get caught up on all the content that we have been giving to you guys. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you guys very, very soon.